Welcome back to Love and Junk. I'm Laura.
I'm John.
And today we have Thanksgiving tag.
Whatever that means.
We already did this once for Halloween, and John didn't know what it was, but I did.
Right.
Basically, we answer a bunch of questions about Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And find out more about each other. You can find out more about us. And the favorite part for me about a tag video is it gives the viewers a chance to participate too in the comments. So feel free to chime in with any of your answers.
Right.
We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I'd like to get to know you guys better too.
That's right. Ready?
And go.
Okay. First question. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Ooh, boy.
Thanksgiving or otherwise. Just pie is like associated with Thanksgiving more than any other holiday too. Don't you think? I mean, in my family we had pie at Christmas and Easter too, but Thanksgiving for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure my family really had pie any other time of year, but...
What?
I mean, yeah, during the summer instead of getting like apple pie and stuff like that, but I think, well, like my personal favorite is French silk pie. Mm-hmm. I love that chocolate pie with the cream on it, and that's so good.
So it's Thanksgiving, we're having pie. If we have chocolate pie, you're fine. We don't have to have pumpkin for you? Or do you feel like it's Thanksgiving, we better have pumpkin pie?
Look, if there's pie, I'll eat it. I like pumpkin pie. I like apple pie. Berry pies are good. I don't know.
But do you feel like for Thanksgiving we have to have a pumpkin pie?
Not necessarily. I think it's the Thanksgiving thing to do, but I don't know that we need to have it.
I don't need it. I love the smell. I've said this before. I love, love, love the smell of pumpkin, but I don't like the texture or... I like pumpkin-y things. Like I've had a pumpkin cheesecake that I liked.
Yeah.
But I've had pumpkin ice cream that I liked. But pumpkin pie...
I've never had no pumpkin ice cream.
What? But...
Pumpkin pie, I think, is good with whipped cream on it.
Yeah, that's how everybody eats it.
No, like a lot of whipped cream on it.
Isn't there's that funny meme that the pumpkin pie is like this big and then it's like whipped cream around it. So
yep, that's me.
For me, I like all the cream pies. Coconut, banana, chocolate is probably my favorite.
Keep it coming. Yep.
Oh my gosh. We're on a diet too. Here we are talking about pie. But chocolate is probably my favorite. My dad used to make pie. All the other siblings would tease me because I would be going over there and he would make my favorite pie. I just think it's because it was also probably one of his favorites.
Right. He wanted it.
So he's like, here you go, Laura. I made pie for you so that he could have it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so chocolate for me as well. And I don't eat pumpkin, so you'll have to decide if it's important to you to have it for Thanksgiving. The next thing is, what time do you eat? You know, some people do a dinner, some people do brunch, some people do afternoon.
Well, like growing up, we basically had 2 Thanksgivings. So we would go to my one grandma and grandpa on my dad's side, and then for like a lunch, and then we go to dinner at my other grandmother's house.
So you never had Thanksgiving? Like your mom and dad never hosted Thanksgiving at all when you were growing up?
Yep.
Never?
Not until like we moved away from Michigan and came to Iowa.
Right.
And then,
Then it was just you guys.
Yeah.
Or did you go back for Thanksgiving?
Sometimes we did, but other times we just stayed.
And for me, my dad liked to have things done and over with in the evening so that people could just go and relax. Sometimes we had to bend that a little bit because, you know, people have work schedules you have to work around sometimes. So generally 12 to 1-ish was always...
Yeah, that's a good time.
Yeah, it was that way, you know, people have kids or they have other Thanksgivings to go to. You could always count that my parents would be early.
Mm-hmm.
And also he worked overnight a lot, so it was a good time for him. He could come home, sleep, wake up in time to eat, and then go back to sleep because he worked at a factory, and so he didn't have Thanksgiving off.
Mm-hmm.
And for us, I think we bend around when the kids are available. This is our first Thanksgiving in our new home.
Yeah.
And we moved this year, so we're back closer to where my kids are, and John's dad. And so I think we're earlier in the day people as well, rather than evening dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's when we tend to do our stuff.
Yeah. Eat and get out.
Right. Okay.
No. Like,
What is your role in Thanksgiving, both as a kid and now?
as a kid, I didn't have a role. Be good. Shut up. Eat food.
They never gave you a job to do or anything?
No, like.
Well, I guess if your parents didn't really host Thanksgiving much, you probably
Right.
didn't have that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to get cleaned up and get on my church going clothes and. As a kid, no, you're right, because we would go somewhere else, so I wouldn't really have a role.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you went to somewhere else, did your mom take stuff? Was it like potluck style?
Yeah, I'm sure she took stuff. And then would go and like help cook and stuff.
Right. And what about now?
Now, we love to cook, so we just,
And we love to do it together.
yeah. But yeah, I would probably most likely be in charge of the turkey. As far as like brining it, getting it ready, getting it like
Carved, all of that. Everything
Yeah.
to do with meat is John, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah. And I'm like, one of the things I love about our relationship is we both do like to cook, but aside from cooking, we both love to really plan our meals together. So we sit down and how do you see this and what do you feel like you need to have, and we work pretty well together.
Yeah, and sometimes we go like full on traditional with the turkey, mashed potatoes, and like all of the traditional sides, and other times we kind of branched out and had stuff that we normally wouldn't.
It kind of depends too on how many Thanksgivings we have. Like sometimes if we're not going to see kids for Thanksgiving, we'll do whatever we want.
Right.
Or if we're going to see kids on a different day other than Thanksgiving, like this year,
Yeah.
we won't have kids on Thanksgiving. So we could do something, our own take on Thanksgiving. We could do, a turkey roulade, or, we could do whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Whatever we wanted to do. And then I still feel like when kids are involved, traditional Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Right.
Because they want to see that. I want to see that too. I wouldn't want to do a tweak on everything instead of traditional Thanksgiving, I don't think.
Right.
Anyway. In my role, when I was little.
Yeah. What's your role?
Do you know what it is? I've told you before.
I can't remember these things.
When I was a little girl, I am the baby by 10 years. And my parents always gave me, my parents were so cute. They had all these traditions they would have. We had a big, huge island, and my mom would be cooking. And my role was to do the nut bowl. My dad would always want a big bowl of nuts with a nutcracker, and he'd want me to arrange them, and busy work is what that is called. And then the fruit bowl. My mom would just be, here's all the fruit, and I could arrange it however I wanted. And at first I'd be like, fruit bowl's done, and I'd toss it in there and go do whatever. And then when I got older, I took more care to it. And then she'd give me more jobs. I remember being maybe 8 or 10, and my job was to make the fruit salad, or actual salad, or, I got more jobs as I got older.
And you said, or you told me before, the nuts and the fruit bowl were something that always had to be put out, right?
For everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And the little, tray with olives and pickles and stuff. Those, my dad, it's not a holiday without those 3 things.
All right.
Anyway, that was my job too. And now we cook together. We do everything. We plan it together. We clean together. We cook together. We do it all together.
Yeah.
Okay. So decorate for Christmas before or after. You know how sometimes you go to people's house for Thanksgiving and it's already decorated for Christmas. What was it like as a kid, and what about now?
After.
As a kid too?
Yep.
Same thing for me. Thanksgiving weekend was when we always decorated.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes Thanksgiving night.
I don't remember as a kid if it was always like Thanksgiving weekend, but it was definitely after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm not offended if I go into somebody's house and their Christmas tree is up as soon as Halloween's over. I'm not one of those people that hate on that.
What about in July?
Yeah. But I do like to wait until after Thanksgiving has been observed. The only time I would say that would be different is if for some reason, like I remember we had to make some changes, like when my brother was in the military and he would come home and he'd be home one time and it would be, Thanksgiving and Christmas kind of rolled into one, then my mom would want the tree up.
Right. Yep, for sure.
So, anyway.
Yeah, you make adjustments depending
Yeah.
on things.
Now, where do we celebrate? And you said where you did growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said this, my parents always hosted.
Yeah.
Always. The grandparents always came to us and we hosted.
Yeah, I mean, definitely when I was a kid, it was at either the grandparents or both of the grandparents' house. And then, moving to Iowa, at my parents' house sometimes. Then, like, my brother and sister-in-law have hosted. Yeah.
And a lot of times they do it not on Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah, because they work different shifts. But I think my favorite is when we just have it here at our house. One of the favorite Thanksgivings that I've ever had was just when it was just the two of us.
There's no drama. Food, we eat whatever we want. Food gets done when it gets done.
Yeah.
We clean up right after or an hour later or 10 hours later, whenever we want to. There's no pressure. That doesn't mean we don't like to have company, but it is kind of nice to have just quiet too.
Yeah.
So,
very nice.
Anyway, and this year it will be here at our house, in our new house.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving traditions, like what do we have now? What do we have growing up? Did you have any traditions?
Thanksgiving traditions. Well, growing up, I just remember going and eating a lot.
You know how some families have on Thanksgiving they play football,
Right.
family football game, or some people do like board games or whatever. I never really had a tradition like that growing up. Did your family?
Nope. We would just go and eat and hang out with each other, and I did have some relatives that would come in, and we wouldn't be seeing them for Christmas, so a lot of times we had like one or two Christmas presents to open then on Thanksgiving because they wanted to see us open them.
Right. The law in my house then and now is the parade is on.
Oh, you gotta watch the parade.
And then I remember being a kid and you couldn't see the kitchen from the living room, and I would be in watching, remember I've told you this before, I'd be watching the parade and my mom would be in the kitchen doing everything she had to do for Thanksgiving, and there's a 4-year-old in the other room or 6-year-old or however old I was at the time yelling, "Mom, Snoopy's on! Mom, Winnie the Pooh's on!" She didn't really care who was on, but I would be updating her on the parade status while she was making Thanksgiving dinner. And then on commercials, I'd go out there, mess around with the nuts and the fruit, and go back to watching the parade. But I still like to have it on now. I don't really love sitting down and watching it, but I like the noise. I like having it on. It feels nostalgic, I guess. What about football and stuff?
Oh yeah, growing up, I grew up in the Detroit area, and we were Lions fans.
Lions always played
the
on
Lions always
Thanksgiving.
played on Thanksgiving, so that was definitely a tradition.
Yeah, that's fun. We don't really have any now, although whoever darkens our door on Thanksgiving, I think, will be subject to playing some sort of board game because that's what we like to do. Right. And
some board games we can't just play with two of us.
Right, and so if somebody else comes around, we tend to rope them into that.
Whether they like it or not.
That's right. What is your favorite part of the day?
Oh, I usually like mornings.
On Thanksgiving.
Oh, on Thanksgiving. My favorite part of the day is like when we go sit down to eat and all the work, that part of the work is done. Like you can see all the food there, and you sit down and after all that a flurry of activity, you could just sit down and eat.
I have two. There's, excuse me, there's that. I was thinking that too. When all of the work and the hustle and the bustle and everybody's there and you sit down, just like you can look and see all the fruits of your labor.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. The other thing is if we eat at like 1, let's say,
Yeah.
and everybody leaves by like 1:30.
Yeah, quiet hour, right?
No. 4 or 5, whenever the house is quiet, and it gets to be 6 or 7 o'clock, and it's time for a turkey sandwich and leftovers. That's like one of my favorite. We always have to go to the store, and right now we're not eating bread at all because we're eating keto, but I always want white bread for turkey sandwiches.
Right.
That's one of my favorite things. Okay, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Yes. I love it all. Turkey, of course.
That's your favorite thing?
I think that is probably my favorite thing. I also love the green bean casserole.
Okay.
What's yours?
You know mine. You better know mine.
I don't know.
Stuffing.
Oh yeah, stuffing.
I make a special stuffing with all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, stuff for the stuffing.
It has an apple and it has lots of mushrooms and different kinds of mushrooms and
sausage.
And it cooks in the crock pot all day and it's so good.
Yeah, it's very good.
That's my favorite thing.
Delicious.
Also, I really like the mashed potatoes. You know what's weird about turkey is that's a lot of people's favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner. Why don't we make turkey? Leave us a note in the comments. Do you make a turkey any other time when it's not the holidays? We could.
Why not?
We love that meal. Why don't we? I don't know. We don't though.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's your least favorite traditional Thanksgiving dish?
Ooh. Now see, I'm going to have to qualify this answer because my least favorite is the sweet potato casserole when it's got like marshmallows and brown sugar all in it. I don't like that. I would rather just have sweet potatoes. It's sweet enough already. Yeah.
That's my least favorite too. That and pumpkin pie. They can both go.
And cranberries. Jelly can't, whatever that is.
Oh, I like that. I don't like it chunky. I think that's a question later. Well, let's answer it now. Cranberries, the kind out of the can that's just cranberry sauce, basically. Jellied cranberries, or the kind that's like chunky and homemade, or neither.
Yeah, I take a hard pass on both.
I like the kind out of the can. I think that has to do with childhood.
Yeah. It's shaped like the can.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What are your menu must-haves? Like, what does the menu have? It's Thanksgiving dinner, and it better have blah, blah, blah.
Turkey.
Right.
Mashed potatoes.
Right.
Stuffing.
Right.
I say it has to have the green bean casserole. And
You know, I like green bean casserole, but I like green beans with, like, onions and bacon just as well. But I love the mushroominess of a green bean casserole. So, some sort of green beans for me, too.
corn
Okay.
and pie.
I would agree with all of that, and I'll see you and raise you some sort of bread product. A roll.
Oh, yeah, you gotta have a roll or
My
something.
kids really like, I make these like cheesy garlic, kind of like the Red Lobster things. They like those, or just,
That
King's
was,
Hawaiian, just some sort of roll.
that was the one thing that we always had was this, like a roll warmer. And it had like a material side,
Yeah.
and it opened up on each side. I think everybody had one of those.
Also gravy.
Oh, gravy. Yeah, that goes with, that goes with turkey and mashed potatoes. That's a given.
I like corn, but I don't think I have to have it at Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't care what the vegetable is at Thanksgiving so
Yeah.
much. Anyway, so what are your thoughts about the parade? Like it, leave it?
I could take it or leave it, but like traditionally, the TV goes on and the parade is on while
Did your mom
things,
watch it too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so the TV's on while things are getting prepped. always.
Right. And I still make John do that now. I remember our first Thanksgiving together, he kind of whined a little bit when I told him I wanted the parade on. I didn't care. It has to be on.
I don't remember whining.
Okay. And then do you watch football on Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Do. It's kind of rough, right? When you're the people that are having the Thanksgiving. It changes, right? From when you're a kid or you're the adult kid and your parents are still around to do all of the stuff. Your roles change. You can't just watch the parade or just watch football. You're trying to fit it all in.
Right.
But we generally have it on. Try to watch some
yeah,
of it.
Usually it's, I don't know. The football game's not as important right now unless, like, we were having other people over. Like, I don't think that we would have to watch it, you know. We could find other things to do if it was just us.
Right.
But if other people are over, we'd most likely have it on.
Right. And we like football. It's just a matter of, you know, we don't really watch. We don't really follow, like, Detroit, let's say, or whatever.
Yeah,
if our
I don't
teams were on,
anymore.
we would probably put it on. But
Yep.
anyways, how big is our Thanksgiving dinner? Or how big was it when you were a kid?
What do you mean by that?
So in my family, it was 3 grandparents, my parents, however many of us kids, and the older kids that had kids. So depending on how old I was, there was anywhere, I would say a normal Thanksgiving dinner would be between 10 and 15. You know, but you hear about some people having like 40 people. And
Yeah. When we went to my grandparents, it was them, and then there was there was a lot of people because my mom and my dad, my aunt and uncle, my aunt and uncle, all the kids. I mean, that was pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there were a lot of people there. And then when we went to Thanksgiving dinner at my other grandmother's house, it was Uncle Ray and Aunt Maureen and their kids, and then Aunt Marcia and her husband and their kids, and
So 20.
yeah, that's quite a bit.
And now I have 2 boys that are here. So I think our Thanksgiving dinner that we have, we're going to have 2. One that's just us and one that is the 4 of us. We have hosted a couple of John's kids before, and I think that was like 5. We haven't had a big Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Whatever kids can come to town or are around for the year, I think that's good. I don't want to get into a bunch of extended family. I don't think we have a whole lot of extended family to do that with, unfortunately. So that's about as big as it gets. I guess that could have been how many people do you have to cook for?
Right.
Basically. Do we go Black Friday shopping?
Yeah, we have.
I worked retail for a really, really, really long time. I was a retail manager, and it was horrible. And I remember going the first time and really liking it. Some years I enjoy it, some years I don't.
Well, and it depends because I would say, like most recent years, there hasn't been like a lot that we wanted to go get.
And then you have to decide, right? Is it worth it?
Right, exactly.
But we have lived in a smaller town for the past several years, and now we're back to we don't live in a big city, but a bigger town. So in our area, there's 4 Walmarts, let's say, within 15 or 20 minutes of us. So that kind of bigger town. There's a couple of Targets, there's a couple of Kohl's and whatever.
More options for sure.
Right. So I can see us going out.
Yeah. It depends on the deals though. Like I don't know that they have been the deals have been that good.
No, but we did last year cash in on some Cyber Monday stuff. We got some luggage and some stuff on Cyber Monday, and if you can beat the crowds, then I'm all for that.
Yeah.
So if we could have a famous person over for Thanksgiving dinner, who would it be? We're almost done too.
You go first.
James Corden.
He's not from the United States, but that's okay. We can have him over.
He's famous.
Yeah.
It's any famous person. So I have a tribe of people in my head that are my favorite celebrities. Neil Patrick Harris is one. James Corden is one. There's some famous musicians
Right.
that I really like. But as far as like actors and actresses and people like that, I really love Robert Downey Jr. But James Corden, I just think could just sit down, just pull up a chair right there, and just like chime in with whatever we're talking about. And
Yeah,
I just love him.
Yeah, that would be really good. Chris Martin would be good. I think that'd be, feel good.
I love
For
Chris
sure.
Yeah, Chris Pratt would be kind of
Chris
fun.
Pratt would be fun. I would love to sit down with like Patrick Stewart. He just seems so fancy and.
That would make me nervous.
I think he'd be all right though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could have him say some Shakespeare or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Star Trek.
Yeah. Then this one was what was Thanksgiving like as a child. I think we kind of.
Yeah, we covered some of that.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think there's anything different to say. I watched the parade. I did my little jobs. I did have to help with cleanup. My mom was really good about everybody participating in some kind of way.
Yeah. Would you have to like go around and ask or say what you were most thankful for?
Some years. It depended on who was there. Because my oldest siblings lived far away. And so if they came back and that was part of something that they wanted to do, or somebody came as a guest and that was important to them, then my parents would incorporate that.
Mm-hmm.
We always prayed. And then sometimes during the prayer, we would go around. I remember that really putting some people on edge sometimes. What about you?
We didn't really do that when I was a kid. We were just hanging out with each other and eating and having family time and seeing those people that we didn't get to see for most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of were thankful of each other, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Where does Thanksgiving rank as far as favorite holidays go?
Ooh.
Like, is it one of your favorites?
I think so. I mean, I think it's one of the major holidays. So for me, I would say like Christmas #1, Thanksgiving is like 2-ish.
Do you like Thanksgiving more than Easter?
Oh, for sure.
I think I do too.
Yeah.
For one thing, one of the things I like most about Thanksgiving is it's the weird thing, and maybe I'm the only person I can't be the only person that feels this way, is what I'm trying to say, is it's like you want to celebrate Thanksgiving and be thankful and, celebrate the food and family and everything that Thanksgiving is. Meanwhile, it's knocking at your door. It's like the kickoff to Christmas. And some people...
The Christmas frenzy.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like those mixed emotions of, okay, this meal is the last bit of calm for a really long time. Or...
Yeah. I'm thankful for what I have, but now let's go get all the other stuff that we
get a
don't
bunch of
have.
crap that we don't need and we can't afford, and all of that stuff. What I love about Thanksgiving is it's a gluttonous holiday as far as eating all the things, but there's no pressure as far as like presents, and
Right.
We don't travel for Thanksgiving. There's no there's not a lot of cost involved. I mean, the meal does cost something, but I don't know. It's relaxing.
Right.
Even though we do all the cooking, it's still relaxing because we
Yeah.
enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy cooking, I don't think I would enjoy the holidays so much.
Yeah.
For me, Thanksgiving is probably number 2 also after Christmas, followed by Easter. I do love Christmas, but there is something about Thanksgiving that could potentially trump Christmas in some ways.
Yeah, I think for sure when I was a kid, Christmas was like #1. But, as an adult, I think there's more pressure involved in everything. And I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving has come up to #1 for me.
Yeah, I really like it. Okay, which is better, pecan or pumpkin?
Pecan.
For sure.
But
I'm
you
a
can't eat it.
I know I can't eat it, but I still have an
Pecan
opinion.
pie is very good.
Now, what are you most thankful for? Let's put everybody on the spot. You too.
Yeah, there's a lot to be thankful for this year. I mean, we've gotten engaged, and so I'm thankful of you. I'm thankful, even though I have a high stress job, I am thankful that I have the job. I'm thankful for the house that we got this year. There's a lot this year to be thankful for.
We've had a lot of changes. I remember last year at this time we were contemplating moving, and we didn't know. We knew we wanted to, but we didn't know where we were going to live, or John didn't have. He got the job around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It was maybe at Thanksgiving we knew, but we didn't know where we were going to live, and that was stressful. And it was just, it seemed like such a huge task.
Right.
So and it was. If you haven't heard us complain about our moving story, that was a really big task. We moved over the winter. It was snowy and it was horrible. And we moved from a couple hours away. So I'm very thankful to not have all of that stress, trying to have Christmas and moving and where are we going to live and all of that.
Things are definitely a lot less stressful.
Yeah. Next year, we're getting married.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
And, we're thankful that we have the family that we do have. Our family is small, the amount of family that we have, but we do have, the kids, they're all doing their own thing and whatever. And we see them when we can.
Yep.
John's dad is still with us.
Yep, just down the road.
Yeah.
Which is good. So I'm thankful to be around him some more. That, being 2 hours away, I wouldn't be able to be there to help him if he needs help. Like last week, he needed the battery changed in his smoke detector. And so that was nice that I could go over there and do that for him.
And that was one of the reasons that we moved here.
Right.
I mean, we're from here, but that's one of the reasons that we moved here. I lost my dad, and so it was one of the, and both of our moms are gone, so it's one of those things. As long as he's here, and why not come back and spend some of that time here and do those things? It might be annoying at the time, Hey, can you come change my, channel on my TV? He doesn't do that, but I'm just saying.
Right.
But those are my dad used to do things like that, is what I'm getting at. And then it's the things that you laugh about when they're gone.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, let us know in the comments what you do for Thanksgiving.
And what you're thankful for.
What you're thankful for, what your favorite dishes are, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We're thankful for you. We started YouTube this year.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. We're growing and we have a lot more things we want to do, so stay tuned. So if you haven't subscribed, now's the time.
That's right.
And don't forget to hit the little bell so you can be notified when we do put out our next video. What's happening?
Nothing.
And don't forget to follow us over on Instagram.
Yep.
How can they find us?
Oh, it's Love and Junk. There's no D, so it's LOVEANJUNK.
We post there daily. And if you are thankful or have lots to be thankful for like we do.
Yeah.
Or if you like pumpkin pie.
Right. Or
turkey.
Yeah, or turkey, or mashed potatoes and gravy, or the list is endless.
Or looking forward to not eating diet food.
Yeah.
Like we are. Give this video a big thumbs up. And I think that's all we have for today.
That's right.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.